Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Antie Joan and Ontie, providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, Auntie Joan.
Hi, Auntie.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I love this fall weather.
Yay. I
Mhm.
agree. It's
Mhm.
lovely. I did turn the heat on finally, October 1st.
Oh,
That's the date. I turned it on. It goes off for most of the day because it does warm up during the day, but it's nice to not freeze to death at night like I've been doing to myself through most of September.
well, no, I don't turn my heat on until November 1st.
Different
I'm
altitudes.
kidding. I'm kidding. But I haven't turned it on yet.
Yeah. I think next week it gets a little cooler.
Oh, good.
I think so. At least up here, mid 60s is the forecast. Yes.
Well,
Oh,
it got up by 90 here yesterday.
I know.
Yeah,
Now it's supposed to be cooler down there today, is it?
it is.
Okay.
My computer temperature says 67 degrees
Oh,
Fahrenheit.
my thermometer, yeah, is in pure sun right this second. So it says it's 80
Oh.
degrees outside, but it's not. That's just
No,
in crazy
no,
sunshine. So it's probably, I would say, low 70s would be my guess.
Did you get the little picture I sent you and some other people of the wildlife I had here today?
Yes, I responded to it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It was a squirrel, folks, sitting on my porch chomping on something.
There you go. That is quite the wildlife sighting, Auntie Joan.
I take what I can get.
I tell you what. But yeah, my furnace, so I turned it on and everything went just fine. The next morning I wake up and nothing. Nothing. Didn't work. And I didn't know why, so I had to contact my furnace dude, Brent Horrigan from Ozone Heating out of Thornton, Colorado. Great guy.
Thornton.
Thornton or Brighton, I don't remember. He lives somewhere over there.
Well, that's quite a bit of difference there.
See, I think Thornton and Brighton are right next to each other. Am I wrong
No.
about that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. He lives
Brighton
in one of
is
those
further
places.
north.
Oh, he lives in one of those places. I don't remember, to be honest with you. But he comes all the way up to my house, which is quite lovely.
Holy smokes.
He was a recommendation on the next door, honestly. So he put in my heating system here. I contacted him and said, you got to come up. There's a problem with the furnace. And he said, and last time he's asked me to check the electrical panel and reset the circuit. And I had already done that before I contacted him because I didn't want to forget. And I said, by the way, I've already reset the circuit and nothing. And then he said, well, there's two other things you can check. Check the filter and see if it's clogged. And with Killian here, you never know. But honestly, it was not. It was very clean. Thank you very much.
No, you're very good about changing that.
I am. He told me to be. But then he also said, check the GFI outlet for the, I don't know.
Oh, that, yeah.
Whatever's running on. It's not the furnace itself. It's something else. The condensation something or other. I don't know.
Your hair dryer.
Yes, exactly. So he was right. That had been tripped. I think it got tripped in the brownout. And the reason the furnace worked the day before is because the condensation gadget was all charged up from not being used all summer. So it ran the first day, but then it ran out of juice by the next day. And that's why. Anyway, so folks, before you call your furnace guy, you got to check the circuit and your circuit breaker on your electrical panel. Then you should check to make sure your filter's not clogged. And third, you should check to see if your condensation gizmo thingy dingy that's plugged into a GFI outlet has been tripped in some way. If all those things are good, then you call your furnace person. But if it's not, this is little troubleshooting tips that I'm sharing with our listener.
That's good to know. I would have my circuit breaker tripped from my air conditioner a couple years ago. It would happen quite frequently, and I had the furnace guy come out, and I thought for sure he was going to tell me I needed a new, air conditioner unit, but he came up with some workaround, and knock on Formica, it's been pretty good ever since. So
Yeah. My guy said if it keeps tripping, that the GFI outlet may need to be replaced. And then he went on a rant. I don't understand why they make us plug those into GFI outlets from a code perspective. And I didn't. This is all through text, so I didn't engage in that conversation because he was clearly not happy about the code requirement. But regardless, it is up to code, and so far so good. It's been just fine. So I do think it was from that brownout I had sometime in August. So yep, all fixed it up, did. But
Wonderful.
when he told me to do that, he's like, "Can you go check to see if the furnace, the filter's clogged or if the GFI outlet's been tripped?" I'm like, my response in text was yes, in parentheses. She says reluctantly, knowing that means she has to go into the crawl space. But I did it. I put my big girl pants on and I went into the crawl space that I hate with a passion.
Yeah, yeah. So he didn't have to drive all the way up.
Nope,
Oh, that's
nope.
good.
He just gave me some troubleshooting over the text, and we're all good now.
That's good. Yeah.
Yes. He's a great guy. I adore him.
Yeah, I like my heating and air conditioning guy too, and the name escapes me at this moment, but
Oh, great shout out.
yeah.
You silly Auntie Joan.
Well, if I knew we were going to go this way, I could have
Well, I
looked him up
talked about
first.
the furnace. I had it on the agenda.
Yeah, but no, you said work in the house.
And I put in there as bullet points what I was going to talk about. But you don't read
Okay.
my stuff.
I do.
You
I do.
don't. It's
I
all right.
do.
It's all right, Auntie Joan. It's
Oh.
all right. It's all right. So what's you been up to?
Well, you know what I've been up to. I made the big drive up the hill to your house last Sunday.
That's right. Big journey up the hill.
Uh-huh. Twofold. Well, threefold.
Threefold.
Uh-huh. You wanted me to experience the sandwich shop.
Yes, Big B's Soup and Sandwiches in Idaho Springs.
Mm-hmm. Pretty tasty, I must say.
Mm-hmm.
And the man behind the counter was very friendly and nice. And you said the other guy that was there before was just as much, or if not more so.
Correct. They're both very friendly gentlemen in their mid 50s.
Yeah,
Just
I'd say.
very, very nice guys. I've experienced both of them, and they're very lovely.
And the one that we
Mhm.
had the exchange with
Mhm.
on Sunday, he said, "Well, whatever you ladies need, I can do it." And I thought for a minute, and I said, "Well, I would like one of the bathrooms in my house made into a wet room," thinking, he said, "I can do that." And I know I can give you the name and number of somebody too.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Yep.
I did not take him up on it because I have my own other stuff I have to deal with before
Yes.
go into that. So
And what did you taste while you were there, Auntie Joan?
it was the Philly steak sandwich.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And the New England clam chowder. Those were both very tasty.
Nice.
Very tasty. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had the cheeses.
Yeah, the cheeses.
The cheeses.
That's kind of their trademark or icon
Yes.
thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is a grilled cheese stuffed with tomato soup. And it is delicious. And I had mine dairy free, of course. They have dairy free options. So I had my vegan cheese and vegan butter on the bread. And then it was stuffed with a wonderful tomato soup. It has to be eaten with a fork and a knife because it's a bit messy, but it was quite delicious, to be honest with
And
you.
the soup isn't as thin as the tomato soup that you
No.
scoop up out of a bowl.
Correct. It's a little bit thicker, and we think we cracked the code on how they did it. It looks like there's a third piece of bread that is dunked into the tomato soup, and then they sandwich that in between two slices of toasted bread that has the cheese, and you smush it all together, and it's deliciousness in every way. And it's called the cheeses. And you can get it with regular cheese. They just also have dairy free. They also have gluten free options if anybody is gluten free. I am not.
Oh,
But
they do, huh? Wow.
not on the cheeses though. I guess I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the gluten free bread wouldn't stand up to something like that,
Yeah,
would disintegrate. So unfortunately, if you're
probably.
gluten free, you can't get the cheeses, but they have lots of sandwiches on their menu to choose from,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
usually about 4 or 5 soups a day. The standards are, I want to say it's a green chili and the tomato soup, and then usually 2 or 3 other soups. And like I said, I don't know if those are daily or weekly offerings. I'm not 100% sure. I've
Yeah,
only been
yeah.
twice. And after the first time I went, I said, "Oh, I know who's going to like this place, Auntie Joan." So we went on Sunday and it was quite lovely.
It's been a long time since I've been through Idaho Springs.
Mm,
And I was a little surprised at how depressed a lot of the like old motels and stuff. They look pretty run down.
yes. Now we were only on one side of
Yeah,
their
yeah.
minor street, which is their main drag. The
Mhm,
other side seems to be a little bit more maintained with the shops and all that,
mm,
more
mhm.
restaurants and stuff. Where we were, the restaurants were more sporadic because there's also the Eric's Asian that I'd like to try at some
Oh
point.
yeah, yeah.
That got pretty decent reviews online. I do my grocery shopping over there, listener, and so
Mhm,
I'm over
mhm.
that way about once a month. And I also get my prescription filled there, and I do grocery shopping kind of thing. So, oh look, Auntie Joan, little Mister Oscar's behind you.
Nice, sweet little
That's
boy.
a little boy. How cutie patootie. How cutie
Mhm,
patootie.
mhm. Yeah. Okay, so we did the sandwich shop,
Yep.
and then we did on the way back and on the
Yes.
way to, we
Yes.
did our leaf peeping.
That's right. We did a
The,
little leaf peeping up here in the hills.
the traffic was ridiculous. People pulling over off the side of the road to take pictures and all that other stuff.
hmm
When I first moved out here and drove out here and saw the sign Colorful Colorado, I laughed because I come from the Midwest and I've been on the East Coast and I've seen beautiful autumns with the reds and golds and,
Orange.
or oranges and such. So here it's yellow and green. However, when you go up to the foothills, the mountains, whatever, at this time of year, the yellows, and now there's some reds interspersed
hmm
periodically, but the yellows, I would say, are like nature's and the earth's sunbeams.
Mm.
They are so vibrant. When
Yes,
the sun shines off them, it's like sunshine
it is.
here on earth. It's just, they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
Yes, agreed. Agreed. We get a little bit of orange, but that's usually as the leaves are dying off from the yellow. They turn, and they never turn typically a bright orange, although those red ones look like they might, the ones that turn red might get a little orangey here and there. The yellows, as when they turn the oranger, more like a marigold color, I guess. So a cross between, a yellow orange. They're getting ready to die off. So they don't get bright orange. They get like a
Yeah,
dull,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
dying orange. I don't know how else to describe it.
I seriously, those the yellows, it is, it's like sunshine just
Yes.
emanating from the forests and stuff. It's just
Yes.
beautiful.
And there's a patch of the reds turning not too far from my house that we
Hmm.
passed by with Auntie Joan. So she got to see the reds too up close. And people were all off to the side taking, a lot of people like to take their senior pictures or that kind of stuff in front of, and that's why it's so crazy. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
yeah, the amount of traffic that we get in the hills, towards the end of the second week of September through the end of September is just astronomical.
And then I went up a different way. Is that
Oh, Cold Creek Canyon.
Coal Creek Canyon? I went
hmm
up there instead of a Boulder Canyon
hmm
because there was this half marathon and other races that were going
hmm
on in Boulder. And when I left my house at 11, there were still the traffic cones up by my neighborhood. So, anyway, so I went up the back way so I wouldn't have to put up with all the traffic for all the foot races and stuff like that. And there were some pretty tight turns on that canyon, but coming up over Wonder View, that was a dynamic view. That's probably why they call it Wonder View, because you get like the front range there.
It's
Pretty,
beautiful.
pretty awesome. Yeah.
It's a very, very
So it
pretty
was,
drive.
yeah, it is. If you can stop and look at what you're looking at, I mean, I couldn't really do that with
Yes,
all the
better to be a
turns and stuff.
passenger.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
And then,
we proceeded with our task of the day,
what was our task, Auntie
our
Joan?
task du jour, making, are you ready for this? Drum roll, please. Pickled watermelon rinds.
Why we
We,
did.
yes, we did. I unfortunately bought the tail end of the watermelons I could find, which had thinner rinds, but I peeled them and cut them and soaked them overnight for 24 hours and
Mm-hmm.
hauled them up to Auntie's house. And from there, it was, it was like we were pretty pathetic trying to figure out what to do. I must say.
Neither one of us is good at reading directions and retaining them because we both kept reading the same thing over and over again. We both kept walking away with two different opinions as to what we needed to do. And then, it was very silly. Like we're reading comprehension is not our strong suit.
It says boil till translucent. No, that's not what it said. It said boil till it's softened.
Right.
Then you put it in this thing and then you do it
Yes.
until it's translucent. Holy smokes.
Isis just
Yeah.
rounded the corner into Auntie Joan's office.
Oh,
Adorables. Well, both
Yeah.
kitty cats, they're there now. Yes, we kept doing silly things like that the whole time. It was very funny. But the syrup that was made was quite tasty. Even though it was very vinegar based, you would think it would be it's quite tasty.
well, the 7 cups of sugar probably
That did
helped.
help. That did help. Yes, indeed. 7 cups of sugar, I think 2 cups of apple cider vinegar,
Yeah.
and then cloves and cinnamon, right? That was everything, right? Did we put some salt in there? I don't think we did.
I don't think we did either.
Mm-mm.
Seems like,
I think that was
yeah,
it.
I guess that's it. Yeah.
We'll put the
Yeah.
recipe out. We're going to give some of those away this upcoming weekend to some family members who were there at the inception of Pickled Watermelon Rinds. We'll let you know how people like them, but we'll post up the recipe and stuff, assuming they like them. If they
Well, you
don't like
said-
them, I
You said you
tasted it.
tasted one.
I did taste one. So after Auntie Joan had come up, we had to let them sit again in the syrup for 24 hours before canning them. And you probably are wondering, geez, I didn't know Auntie knows how to can. She doesn't.
Neither does Auntie Joan.
we didn't know what the hell we were doing. So we
Hit
had to
the
watch
YouTube.
Yep. Lots of video watching. But I think it came out okay. I don't know. But I did taste, after the 24 hours of sitting in the syrup before the canning, I did taste a piece and I thought it was quite tasty.
Now, I thought that these were going to have to sit for like a couple months before they were usable.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case, is it?
No. Nope. So we're going to gift those out and see how. And of course, Auntie Joan and I both have our own jars. So that was a lot of fun pulling that together. We got to chit chat along the way, of course, and catch up on stuff. And it was fun to do that. It was a lot more work than I had anticipated it being.
Yeah.
I had I think a year ago, sold my huge pot that I used to use for seafood boils because I'm vegan now and I don't make them. And yeah,
Those were the good old days.
so I finally sold it at a yard sale, and that would have come in very handy for what we were doing this past weekend. So the pot I did have that was good for canning, because neither of us realized that for canning you actually have to have the water above the mason jar height, like 2 inches above the mason jar height. That's not how I thought canning went, but apparently that is how it works. So I had to use a tall stock pot, and the one I had could only fit 4 jars at a time. So I ended up having to do 2 batches of the canning. Not a big deal because honestly, the canning part is the shortest part of the process, to be fair. Once you get over your fear of shit, I hope this doesn't blow up on me.
Yeah.
And you just do it, just like, screw it. I'm just doing it. What's the worst thing that can happen? I get syrup everywhere. Okay, that's fine.
How did you get them out of the pot?
I used because they have a gadget for that, but of course we don't have that because we're not canning people. I used tongs and that had the rubber side, the rubber claws on it, and I just squeezed it really hard with both hands and pulled it out. And I made it sure I didn't have to travel very far with it to get it to safety. I did not drop a single one, so that was good.
Well, next year,
yes,
we'll have all we need. We'll get our gear.
Well, I think all we really need is that gizmo. Oh, and use your stock pot, which is a lot bigger than the one I had. But
maybe someone would sponsor us, that.
Maybe someone will do it for us. That would be.
No, it's not the same. Next time we'll know better because we'll get the
so?
watermelon.
We're not going to fucking remember a year from now. Are you crazy?
Well, I'll remember to get the watermelon earlier in the season.
All
that's
right.
for certain.
That's for sure shooting. Yes, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad we did it. Interested to see what the family thinks of the pickled watermelon rinds.
And if you don't hear from us next week,
we died.
Yep, it didn't turn out as well as we thought it would.
Because they've just been sitting on my counter waiting to be packaged up for the family. So I hope they're all right.
Yeah, I do too.
Find out.
They'll be fine. Well, when did you sample?
We did it on Sunday, so I was Monday.
Oh, you're still alive.
I am still alive, but that was before the canning process.
Oh.
That was just an overnight in the syrup.
You did hear them pop.
I did hear them pop. That is true. Which is counterintuitive to me. I would think that would mean that they are not sealed.
No.
But that's what all the canning people said we had to listen for, was them to pop.
No, like when you buy pickles from the grocery store and you turn the jar.
Yeah.
You hear it pop.
Right. But that's unsealing it.
It probably pops before and after.
It'll
pop when you open it too.
Oh, for sure. I do use mason jars very often, but usually to freeze stuff. The mason jars these days, canning through freezing as well. And anytime I do that, the jars, to get the lid off is very hard to do. It's very suctioned in there. As a matter of fact, I just had soup that I had put in last spring or whatever in the freezer, and I took it out and it was like, and I had to pop it off.
Oh, you use a can opener?
No.
That's what my mother used to use.
Can opener?
Yeah. The old bottle opener thing.
But then you put a dent in it. No need.
Yeah, then you go and get new lids.
No. You can pop them off. You just got to use your 2 thumbs and go, boop.
Well, then you use the ones that are dented and you make Christmas ornaments from them.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm going to do. It was a good time. It was a nice day.
It was a lovely day.
Very lovely day to take a ride. So that was nice. That was nice. And Killian helped because he's a helper.
He is such a helper.
He didn't do shit.
He's such a good boy.
He is a good boy. That's very true.
Well, he was there to clean up if we dropped anything.
But we didn't drop anything, so he was sad.
Yeah. But he just wanted us to know he's on duty.
Now it's time for Auntie Joan's Fun Facts! What you got, Antie Joan?
Well, when I was a little girl, there was a girl in my class who had these cute dimples in her cheeks. She was very popular, and all the boys liked her. So guess who wanted dimples? Moi. Did I have them? No. And it wasn't until just this year that I realized or found out that dimples is a mutation. So she was definitely no better than I was. If anything, she was a mutant. Now,
like the Ninja Turtles?
Yeah. Or as somebody said, X-Men. Now, some will argue that it's really not a mutation. What it actually is and what causes a dimple is the muscle in your cheek area called the zygomaticus major muscle.
Mhm.
And for normal people, do you have dimples?
I'm waiting for you to finish. Go ahead.
I never noticed. It's always been a part of you. Anyway, so this zygomaticus major muscle, regular people, is a solid muscle that goes
Mhm.
from one point of your skull to the right above the lip area. So when you smile, it pulls it back. That's what causes the cheek to go up when you smile.
Mhm.
Now, if you have dimples,
Mhm.
it's because this zygomaticus major muscle is split.
Mm.
There's a split in there. So when it pulls back, it causes a gap when you smile. So it's believed that it pulls the skin and underlying connective tissue in a little bit deeper than normal, creating that cute little indentation. Yes. How is it I never noticed you had dimples?
I really only have one, so I'm only
Oh,
broken on one side.
yeah, but no, I could see it on the other side too.
It's not the same. See, that's more
Not
of a
as pronounced. Yeah.
yeah.
No,
It's really
I don't know. I don't know. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So, a few studies have actually been done on the hereditary of dimples. One study in Russia in the 1900s looked at 75 families for a variety of physical traits, including the presence of cheek dimples.
Mhm.
The results suggested that dimples were a dominant trait controlled by one gene, but researchers also noticed that the inheritance changed depending on whether a person was a male or a female. More recently, gene profiling company 23andMe,
Mhm.
remember the home testing thing you can do for your
Mm.
DNA,
Mm.
did its own investigation into dimple genetics and found that dimples are associated with 9 different genes.
Oh.
And to make matters even more complicated is the dimples can come and go over time. Some people's their dimples only show up in adulthood, while others only have them as children. So, in case you want dimples, but you've not been fortunate enough to have them given to you naturally, there is a plastic surgery
Of
procedure
course there is.
called a dimpleplasty.
Mm.
But it's not a true dimple because they make an incision in a site and, they move it, the tissue. And
Mm.
yeah, it's not the same as a real dimple. And supposedly these don't always last. So hardly worth the effort if you ask
Mhm.
me. But that's my opinion and I'm
Mhm.
sticking to it.
Mhm. I even have
Oh my gosh.
little.
A little chin dimple. What
Mhm.
did they used to call that? There was a nickname for that. Yeah.
Chin
Oh.
ass, ass chin, ass
Oh.
chin.
No, now you're gonna make me wanna look it up, but
Uh-oh.
we don't have time, do we?
Maybe that could be your next fun fact.
Oh, no, no. The cleft chin.
Oh. Mhm.
Huh. Yeah, there's a whole other thing. University of Delaware. Oh, chin dimpling reduction. Oh my gosh, they got all kinds of stuff going on. Holy Toledo.
Uh-huh.
So here's just another little thing you can add to your things I never knew didn't know I didn't want to know. So there you go. And what kind of brought this up was my cousin, Mike, and I went to lunch, and our waitress or our server had these cutest dimples. And I just had to comment. I told her, I said, you've really got cute dimples. I'll tell you, getting older, you don't care anymore because you just figure nobody's going to be worried that I'm trying to come on to them. And so she said that her boyfriend had told her about the muscle and stuff like that. And I said, "Oh, is he in the medical field?" "Yeah, he's studying to be a doctor." And yeah, so but I had read something about that before, about it being a mutation or something. So anyway,
I don't recall you ever saying that I have cute dimples.
well, that's what I'm wondering. What I don't know.
Hmm.
Hers were
She doesn't
really
think they're
deep.
cute. That's what the problem is.
Well, they are cute,
No,
and
too
so
late.
are you,
Too late.
Auntie.
Too late.
No, no.
Well, thank you for your fun fact, Auntie Joan. That was
Mhm.
quite fun.
Well, those of us that are born sans dimple,
Mm,
we can at least feel a little better that it's no big deal. I mean, to have dimples or not. It's just a matter of a split in your muscle.
there you go.
Hmm. Hmm. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we discuss what we are watching. And Auntie Joan's got a throwback for us all today. What you got, Auntie Joan?
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't watched this actually just recently. I have not watched it, but I've seen it several times and it's always made a big impact on me. And I think with this being October, November coming up soon, it might be worth mentioning this particular movie. It's called A Face in the Crowd. It was made in 1957, black and white, with Andy Griffith, Patricia Neal, Walter Matthau, Lee Remick, Anthony Franciosa. I think that's pretty much the stars that most people would be familiar with. And what it's about is a fella called Lonesome Rhodes. And he is a guitar strumming, folksy singer, country singer that Patricia Neal's character finds singing some song, and she thinks, boy, this guy is really authentic. I think he would make a great guest appearance on one of their country shows. So he goes on and he becomes a superstar. He becomes
Superstar.
superstar, yeah.
Molly Shannon. We love to call
Yes.
her out.
He gets plucked from obscurity to fame with these TV shows he's doing, like Grand Old Opry type stuff, and he's the star.
Like
And
the Andy
everybody,
Griffith Show?
like the Andy Griffith Show, well, not quite. I mean, it was more like Grand Old Opry.
Ah,
For those of us that used to see it on the TV, we personally didn't watch it, but anyway, I think I've gone past it. He becomes this, well, I guess you could say influencer. Back in the day, he would have been what's called an influencer. He gets called on all these special appearances, and it kind of starts going to his head. And he goes to, make a guest appearance at like a high school football game or something. And there on this field is this young Lee Remick playing a majorette, like a high school majorette. And this is supposed to have been her film debut. And he falls in lust with her, and they end up getting married. The fame goes to his head. He's on the TV. He's got all these politicians coming around. They want him to run for the Senate or the governor's office or one of those. And they're interviewing him on one of these TV shows. And as they're rolling the credits afterwards, they would play the theme song. The TV station would play the theme song. Well, they didn't cut the microphone that was on Lonesome Rhodes. And he started to badmouth all these loyal viewers of his. Needless to say, people were in an uproar. He lost all kinds of fans. He ended up just going downhill, pretty much back to where he was when he started. So it's kind of like, what do they call those tales?
I just know Tales from the Crypt.
It's kind of like a cautionary tale.
Make sure your mic is turned off before you start bad mouthing people. Is that it?
Yeah, that's one thing. And to all our politicians out there, you might want to just take a gander at this movie before you continue on your tours or whatever you want to call them. So I just thought that it was a timely movie and worth mentioning at this time of year, right before a big election. So you never know what you're going to get. What somebody appears like on the screen isn't necessarily what you get in real life.
But I think that's true of everything.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily let everybody see me, especially when I first meet somebody or anything like that.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
So I think we all kind of do that.
You're
To
so
some degree.
friendly and cheerful when you meet people.
So are you.
No, I'm not. No, I'm just kind of blah, But you have personality, you see, when you meet people. It takes me a while to come out. A Face in the Crowd, 1957, with Andy Griffith.
It looks like you can watch it on the YouTube or pay for it on Prime. What'd you say, $3.99 or something like that? To see it on Prime?
Yeah. It's not streaming free anywhere. I would think Netflix or one of them would have it at this time of year for free, but oh well.
Yep.
Everybody's out to make a buck, aren't they? Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we discuss commercials we have to talk about. And today we're going to talk about the Etsy Upside Down Rollercoaster. It's very silly. It's a group of people that get stuck on a roller coaster, on a loop roller coaster upside down, and they're talking about, oh my God, well, how are we going to get a gift for our friend if we're stuck here? And they're, oh, well, you can do the Etsy, blah, blah, blah. And Etsy will send the person a little notification, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, this is an interesting commercial. And my favorite part of the whole commercial, you would think it'd be the chatter of the stupid young people talking about how they're going to get a gift for their friend, who, by the way, is two seats back from where they are right that second. No. At the very end of the commercial, a bird comes in and slams into the head of one of the girls. That made me laugh out loud, and I liked it.
See, I would think that would be your least favorite.
No, I loved it. I thought that was hysterical. I love when silly things happen that make have no tie-in to what they're discussing, and it just happens out of nowhere. It just catches you completely off guard. I love that. I always go back to, and I think I talked about it before, in While You Were Sleeping with Sandra Bullock, an old Christmassy kind of movie. There's just a random scene. It has nothing to do with the movie whatsoever. End of scene, they cut to a new scene, and it's this kid riding his bicycle down the sidewalk, and he's throwing newspapers onto people's porches. And he winds up to throw one. He winds up so hard that he spins the bike around, and he crashes on the ground. And that's all we see of this kid ever. That was it. That was his entire. They don't say who he is. He has no relevance to the storyline in any way. It's just a random shot, and it makes me laugh out loud every time I see it. And yes, I watch that movie every single Christmas. It is in the rotation, so it makes me happy. So this reminded me of that, the stupid bird out of nowhere just slamming into the girl's head. I thought that was funny.
Pretty good. That was pretty good. I found myself focusing on, where are those wires that they're using to keep their hair up?
You didn't think they were really upside down?
No. And it was really a pretty bad job, too, with the hair. You could definitely tell it was,
yes,
being strung up with something.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Now, I will say I do like Etsy.
I know you like the Etsy.
Like Etsy. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever purchased anything on Etsy. I've looked at things on Etsy, but I don't think I've ever purchased anything.
You do have to be careful now, because some of those Temu type places are rearing their heads there, and they can trick you into thinking you're buying something from somebody individual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Somebody I know has purchased from, I thought it was Temu, but okay, we'll go Temu.
Well, yeah, probably.
Whatever it is. And said the quality of the goods was so subpar. It was just atrocious. Oh. So, and they saved me because I had seen something on there. It's like, oh, maybe I would get that. And didn't. And then I don't even remember how it came up. in just a casual conversation. I was like, ooh, well, I'm really glad you said that because I've seen quite a few things that I'd be like, oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Now, I don't think I ordered this through Temu, or through Etsy. I'm not sure. I think it came up on my Facebook. That's another place they're grabbing people on Facebook. And they had these cute, cute sweatshirts. And I thought, oh, I have to get that. So I ordered it. It came back. First of all, it was way smaller than they said it would be. Second of all, the transfer that they used to put the image onto the sweatshirt, which was very thin, was this, those old fashioned, like rubbery type transfers. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like the Halloween stuff that I got was it last year or the year before? I don't even remember now. Was it last year? Yeah, same thing. It took a month to actually receive.
Yeah.
All the sizing was way off. And on the sweatshirt I got, which again was very thin, as Antie Joan said, the cuff at the bottom was actually sewn inside out.
That's right. That's right.
It was terrible. And I contacted them to try and do return. And they basically said it will cost you more to return it than just to keep it. It's a longer email or text. Text or email, I don't even remember. Anyway, than that, but that was the gist of it. And I was like,
so did they refund your?
No. Basically said it's yours. That was it.
You buy it, you keep it.
That's it. That's all you get. So yeah, so it is a caution. That's a cautionary tale as well.
For sure. Sure.
Do your research. So now anytime I see something on the Facebook that looks like a cool deal, I then go to the Google machine separately.
Yep.
Type in the company, see if they've gotten good reviews or even have been noted as a known scam. And, read that kind of stuff first. And I have to say, I've yet to think, I don't think I've bought, I did just buy something that I did see on the Facebook that I did buy through the Google. And it was actually something called Juicy Marbles and it's vegan spare ribs that actually I'm making for this upcoming weekend.
So you said you were using real spare.
No, I am. That's for me. That's for me. No.
Don't scare me.
No. I got regular spare ribs for the meat eaters, but I was debating whether to buy them or not. And they're like, you know what? I'm just going to try them. Worst thing, they could suck. But they got really good reviews on the Google machine, and it is a real company. And I actually saw the product being sold in the vegan delicatessen that I went to in Barcelona. So it is a real product that is being sold. Much less expensive in Barcelona than it is to get it online. So I assume it's a European company. I haven't verified that. So they don't have to pay the import charges and all that crap or export charges and all that crap. So after doing research on anything else I've seen, I see quite a few things. I'm on the Facebook almost daily. I have not purchased based on doing a little bit more research on the Google machine.
And some of the tops, the artwork and stuff, they look so darn cute.
So beautiful and
pretty. Yeah.
Nope. Don't get suckered in, people. Do your research. It might be. You never know. There might be a valid one out there, but they're few and far. Yeah, exactly. They're few and far between. So you gotta do your research.
Yeah.
For sure. But
they get you coming and they get you going.
We
if it ain't one thing, it's another.
Any more you want to say?
Let's run this one up the flagpole and see how it waves.
Yeah, so Etsy Upside Down Rollercoaster. We'll have the link on the episode for folks to take a gander. I appreciated this commercial. It made me laugh out loud. All right, Auntie Joan, anything else you have for our listener today?
No, I think I've pretty much talked myself out.
All right. You got all your cliches out and you got all your...
we'll take it one day at a time.
So no.
Let go and let goddess.
There you go. All right. That wraps it for yet another wonderful episode of Pickled Watermelon Rinds. This is Auntie signing off.
And Antie Joan saying bye-bye now.
We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.